Hello and welcome to Newsroom Series Today. Our focus is on the Northwest region. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for joining us. We begin in Delta State, that is concerning Delta State, but in the North Central, where the Delta State Governor, Mr. Sheriff Oborevwori, has met with President Bola Tinubu in the State House on the incident that led to the killing of 16 soldiers in Okuoma community, Ogeli South Council area of the state last week. The governor, who briefed journalists after the meeting, gave assurances that perpetrators of the incident would be found. Meanwhile, the Senate has asked the federal government to immediately compensate the families of the slain soldiers as it observed a minute's silence in honor of the military personnel who lost their lives on Thursday in Okuama community in Delta State. The resolution follows a motion of urgent importance on the killing of Nigerian Army personnel and the necessity for an urgent investigation moved by the chairman, Senate Committee on Nigerian Army, Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yar'Adua. The upper chamber further directed the committees on Army, Navy, and Defense to liaise with the Nigerian Army to investigate the matter. The federal government is also urged to ensure that those responsible for the heinous crime are identified, apprehended, and brought to face the full consequences of their actions through a fair and transparent legal process. Now, the House of Representatives has also been reacting to the gruesome murder of 17 military personnel in Delta State. While considering a motion of urgent national importance by Honorable Babajimi Benson, the House is concerned that the incident poses a risk of demoralizing the military. Lawmakers observed a minute's silence for the slain personnel and mandated the security agencies to conduct a thorough investigation to bring the perpetrators to book. The House Committee on Defense is also to lead the process of investigation and reconciliation to avoid further escalation. The House appeals to the military to ensure they abide by the law and avoid further retaliation. To other stories today, Justice Binta Yako, the Federal High Court in Abuja, has denied bail to the leader of proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Delivering ruling, Justice Yako held that the court will only grant an accelerated hearing in the matter and order the prosecution to call its first witness. Reacting to the ruling, counsel to Mr. Kanu, Aloy Ejimako, expressed his displeasure. He says they cannot go on with proceedings if they have not been given an opportunity to speak with their client. He added that it's been difficult to have a meeting with Mr. Kanu in the custody of the DSS, as the conversations were always monitored, and Mr. Kanu was always wearing the same outfit, which the court ordered be changed. Mild drama ensued when Mr. Nnamdi Kanu requested to address the court, and his request was granted. He went on to pull off his shirt in the courtroom at the time to show the judge his ribs at that time and chest as evidence of the treatment he is receiving at the hands of the DSS. He also alleged the doctors don't have the drugs to take care of him, or rather the proper drugs, and that the DSS are patching him up so as he does not die in custody. The case has been adjourned to April the 18th for commencement of trial. In Newsroom, our focus is the Northwest region today. Army troops from Combat Team 3 stations in Maraban, Megora, Katsina State on Monday rescued 10 women and 6 minors who had been held captive by bandits since the 3rd of February 2024. A credible source from the military disclosed that the victims were rescued during a routine patrol at the Rimi community after being held for 46 days by the criminals. According to the military source, the rescued victims were among the 54 women kidnapped along the Gamji-Dandume Road in early February 2024. Following the rescue, the rescued women and children were promptly handed over to the chairman of Sabua local government area, who in turn reunited them with their relatives. Reacting to the development, Governor Diko Rada commended the troops for their bravery and decisive action. Meanwhile, the military says troops deployed in one division area of responsibility in Kaduna have successfully averted a kidnap attempt by a violent extremist and insurgent group and rescued abductees in Tantatu community of Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Major General Onyema Nwachiku, says the troops on the 17th of March 2024 at about 10:30 p.m. swiftly tracked the insurgents who had earlier attacked the community in numbers and abducted some of the hot villagers as hostages. The statement adds that the troops pursued the insurgents, engaging them in ferocious exchange of fire and consequently rescuing 16 kidnapped victims. The troops are still exploring the bushes in continuation of the search and rescue operations to extricate other victims and stop the nefarious activities of the insurgents. The statement further adds that the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, commended them for their successful rescue of the kidnapped victims in this case and charged them to remain vigilant as they conduct counter-insurgency operations to liberate all troubled areas in the country. This is with the backdrop of the 87 kidnapped victims who are still being taken hostage and abducted by kidnappers in Kaduna State. Now, as troops continue more rescue operations in the northwest, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, is given assurances that the abducted Kuriga students and others still in captivity in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna will soon be set free. He made the comment and commitment when he visited Governor Obasani at the Government House in Kaduna. General Musa met the representatives of kidnapped children from Kuriga School, highlighting the military resolve to thwart attacks in the northwest.
Recently, Kaduna State has witnessed a spike in kidnappings and attacks on communities carried out by bandits. Among the worst hit places are Kajuru, Igabi, and Chikun local government areas where over 300 people have been abducted and few others killed. Some of the recent cases that come to mind are the adoption of 287 students of Lee Primary School and Government Secondary School, Kuriga, in Chikun local government area, as well as the Sunday night attack on Kajuru Station, where no fewer than 87 people were taken away by the bandits. Following the rising insecurity in the state, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, on Monday visits the state government house to interface with Governor Obasani, with the state deputy governor, Hadiza Balarabe, the state commissioner of police, and representative of Kuriga communities.
First and foremost,
in his address, the defense chief describes the recent attacks as a deliberate ploy by the enemies to destabilize Kaduna State, just as he assures the governor that the military is working in collaboration with other security agencies to ensure that all the hostages are freed.
It is a time period that the state is going through, and the nation. There are individuals that are not happy to see the nation developing, and they want to cause rancor, cause mayhem, cause underdevelopment, because by the time they put insecurity, nobody will want to come and invest in Kaduna or Nigeria. And the populace, as long as they are not happy, things will not work well. But like I said, God Almighty has not brought us here for us to be destroyed. They are having their own evil plans, but God is on our side, and we are working tirelessly to ensure, one, we secure the state, the country, secure the citizens, most especially to be able to free the abducted ones, both the school children and all the other ones that have been abducted.
We have been making a lot of progress.
On his part, Governor Sani says a lot of progress has been recorded in an effort to rescue the abducted children and other kidnapped victims in Chikun and Kajuru local government areas.
And just like the Chief of Defense Staff just reassured us today, that the armed forces are also trying their best. Other relevant security agencies are also trying their best. I want to also thank the community for the support they have been given to Kaduna State government, particularly the parents of the children. But we will continue to try to partner with the armed forces, other relevant security agencies to ensure the safe return of our children back home by the grace of God.
While the Chief of Defense Staff has assured that the constant attacks by bandits in various parts of Kaduna State will soon be over, Most residents are, however, worried over the rising insecurity in Kaduna State, a state that hosts most of the nation's critical military establishments.
Now we're joined on the program by retired Major Akure Amberson, who has extensive knowledge of security in the Northwest. He joins us from our Abuja studios. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. Now,
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, it must be necessary for me to extend our sincere sympathy to the people of Kaduna State and the families who are directly involved, whose wards and children and fathers and mothers and relatives have been abducted in such a criminal manner. What sort of abduction it is, it's always criminal. And the government of Kaduna State, having said that, taking into account the numbers of people that have been abducted, we have 87 people, 15 people. We believe hundreds now have been taken hostage in different scenarios. How can this still be happening on this large a scale?
What I've noticed is that for almost 6 or 5 years, we've been having similar kidnappings all over Kaduna State. What I expect is that the state government would have boldly said, okay, let's impose curfew in all these areas. That is one, ensure that they beef up security at the local level. That means the traditional rulers and local chiefs should be able to identify people who are visitors within their local communities. Strangers come in and we need to monitor them. That means we need to beef up intelligence gathering and ensure that people are conscious of the whole thing. The ecosystem within that area, security is about ecosystem. If it is threatened, that means people will not be able to do their businesses. They will not be able to sleep well. So we need to adopt a new system. How can we beef up security at the local level? Do we need to recruit more hands? Do we need to have local policing? The vigilante group, can we upgrade it so that they carry arms? These are issues that government need to factor into what the decision they need to take immediately. But government should also ensure that they impose curfew in some of these areas, noticeable areas that have, for a long time, they've been having crisis of kidnapping. And I think that will be able to stop some of these things. And government should also stop negotiating with anybody who kidnaps. Kidnapping is evil, and that evil is spreading all over the country. We should stop it. Government should be able to stamp our foot and ensure they stop kidnapping.
Indeed, one of the gray areas that jump right out at one, if you look at the issue, even on face value, is how, with the number of people they're kidnapping, where are they keeping them? Surely there must be some role played as far as intelligence gathering is concerned that should make it easy for these victims to be located and for rescue operations to begin immediately for their rescue. There are so many. Where could they possibly be held? That large a number, and how easy or hard will it be for them to be rescued?
In the past, we used to have forest guards. Government can upgrade those forest guards and arm them properly. And they use bush paths. They don't use motorable roads, so they use motorcycles. Can we get motorcycles in Nigeria? Let them be licensed, let them be numbered. Because any motorcycle you notice with that number, it could be one of their weapons. A motorcycle they use to cause harm. So let government ensure that motorcycles that are being used by people are numbered. It's another way of generating revenue for government. But government has to get people at the local level to ensure that security and intelligence gathering is done even at the local, right from the local government and the wards. They have to penetrate all those areas and get people. There are bad boys everywhere. And you can only get them if you get the chiefs and then local chiefs to give information. And security is everyone's, it's our own responsibility. We shouldn't wait for government. I thought about it. Look, can we do what the Israelis are doing? Can we get people? Can we just arm some people? State actors, non-state actors are armed. Can government go around and ensure that people who are keeping illegal arms are arrested and penalized and punished? So that is the main problem. And the government needs to punish those kidnappers. When they are arrested, the Bible says in Deuteronomy 24 verse 7 that they should be killed. That means they need to be cleansed, to cleanse them from society. And it's not anything. We need to cleanse them. A bad group of people are there looking at it as business. It's a business for them. The government has to stop them.
One certainly feels for the administration of Governor Obasani in the case of Kaduna State. His predecessor, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, had his hands full for the same reason, but now it seems to be the same kettle of fish in this regard, where Governor Obasani has to contend with these serious challenges concerning security. It's easy to play the blame game and say, where has which security agency dropped the ball? But as far as Kaduna State is concerned, and even in Kajuru, where the latest incidents have happened, what do you think can be done for a precautionary measure as opposed to a reactionary measure to prevent these sorts of incidents from happening again once these victims have been rescued?
There should be layers of defense at the local level. Let the vigilante let them beef up security in the night. They go out and patrol. If you don't do that, there will be crisis. Look at the mosque, look at the church. The whole area, they kidnap both Muslims and Christians, and even pagans. That means everyone is involved. It's a business. Until we cut that source of funding to them, we cannot get to the root of that. We can't get the result out of it. We must get to the root. There are some people funding them, and government should stop that funding. They should check from the banks. There are people funding them, and they must be arrested. If they are not arrested, this thing will continue for a long time. And it is evil is going around the whole nation. We need to stop it.
Indeed. We hope that the thorough investigation reveals what is behind these abductions taking place in the country. We thank you for your input this day. Retired Major Akure Amberson, who joined us from our Abuja studios. Many thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're watching Newsroom series on Channels Television, and our focus is the Northwest region today. When we come back, we'll be bringing you news of the increase in the price of goods during the Ramadan season. Please stay with us. Welcome back. The current increase in the price of goods and services have left a lot of people suffering and agitated as the Ramadan period is here. And yet nothing has changed, especially with the lack of proper power supply in the hot season. Channel's correspondents took to the streets to find out how residents are coping with the high temperatures and the high prices.
With the recent high cost of food items, so many people were hoping that there would be reductions before the Ramadan begins, considering promises from the government that palliatives will be given to cushion the effect. Residents are not happy with the high cost of buying things, especially foodstuff, from tomatoes, vegetables, potatoes, spices, and fruits.
In short, everything is expensive. Everything. Not the perishable things, the food stuff, everything is expensive. It's not, there's no light, there's no water.
I say what I like there for this control is this. If you don't close now, see, now for 400 naira the seller. Now I don't buy 350. You say don't increase 50 naira. Each one now 400.
We are in the situation of Ramadan these days now, and people are in need of ice block. And very unfortunate that NEPA has no light. It's like we are working out throughout. Almost there is no light for almost 12 hours or more than. So people are just finding it difficult to get cold water or ice block.
With the hot and dry weather, ice block is now an essential commodity, but supply is also affected as sellers lament lack of stable power supply to the cold rooms where the blocks are produced, and the use of generators has led to an increase in price.
Today, I find it difficult to get kankara. I have to walk from Civic Center to Ibrahim Tawo Road. When I got it, they say each one is for 400. I have to pay before they release it 300. With this, we can't cope. We can't sell the mineral anymore because without kankara, it's not cold. As me is here now. You understand?
Yes, you know, the weather now is very hot, and people need to take, a lot of water this period. And when somebody fasts, by the time you want to break the fast, at least it needs something to cool down. This time a lot of people does not take things like they use the ice block to preserve a lot of their food, because you need to take something good at this period.
They wonder why the government is yet to intervene in the high cost of living.
We are just pleading with everybody, especially the government, to make an assistance. If NEPA can assist, or the government can do something about light.
Only thing government what is supposed to do is to consider the price control. That is the only method that government use it to settle this problem in our country.
The Ramadan season is a season of prayers, and most people are hoping that prayers for a more progressive Nigeria is important at this time in the country. From Kano Commercial City, Nanchin Vincent, Channels Television News.
Now, staying with the high cost of food, wife of the Zamfara State Governor, Hajia Huriya Lawal, has distributed food items and clothing material to 20,000 vulnerable households across the 14 local government areas of the state. Hajia Huriya flagged off the distribution of the Ramadan welfare package in Gumi, Bukuyum, Anka, Talata, Mafara, Bakura, and Maradun local government areas of the state. During the flag-off ceremony, the governor's wife says the food items include rice, millet, guinea corn, maize, sugar, spaghetti, beans, groundnut oil, and others. Meanwhile, the governor is appealing to residents to use the occasion of the Ramadan fast to pray for a change in the economic and security situation in the country.
It's a humanitarian gesture that seeks to address the immediate needs of the people, particularly in the month of Ramadan. Reiterating the government's determination to improve the well-being of the residents, Mrs. Huriya Lawal calls on the people to use the holy month to pray for God's benevolence to bring an end to the security challenges and economic hardship.
It's a great honor, and I thank God for giving me the strength and long life to see it happen. We should all be very patient and be very prayerful for a better Zamfara, inshallah.
In attendance is the Emir of Gumi, retired Justice Lawal Hassan, who believes that by reaching out to those in need in these trying times, the government is sending out a powerful message of hope.
We are grateful to the governor and to his wife, and furthermore, we are praying that Almighty Allah will bring security to be a permanent feature of our lives here in Zamfara State and elsewhere in Nigeria.
Hadiza Ibrahim is one of the beneficiaries, and she thanks the state government for the food.
I'm very happy with the palliatives she distributed to us during this month of Ramadan. We thank her and may God bless her. The problem we're facing in Anka local government is that of insecurity. The bandits have been disturbing us, but we pray to God to restore peace in our state.
At a separate event in Safe local government area where food was also being given to families and individuals, Governor Lawal urged the people to use the fasting period to pray for an end to the security challenges and economic hardship.
We are reminded of the importance of providing support to the less privileged. I will also urge us all to intensify prayers for peace and security to prevail in all our communities, state, region, and country, and the country during this holy month of Ramadan.
His call was echoed by the senator representing Zamfara Central, Senator Ikra Bilbis.
This month is a holy month. This is a month that we should serving Almighty Allah in double peace, in double aspect. Whatever we are doing in the past, we should make sure that we double what we are doing, particularly in giving arms to the needy and helping others to the others who need it.
The state government has also directed the release and distribution of assorted grains from the strategic reserve, in addition to the purchase of additional grains to ease the hardship on the residents.
And that's where we leave it on Newsroom Series today. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Mukoli.